In the early 1970s, a new genre of film arose seemingly overnight. This new sensation, later coined as Blaxploitation, featured funk and jazz-inspired soundtracks, urban settings, and most importantly, unforgettable black heroes and heroines.
That's some cold shit. Throwing my man Leroy out the window. Just picked my man up and threw him out the goddamn window.
For the first time, black Americans were portrayed in ways the nation had never seen before.
Right on.
Shaft. Hotter than Bond, cooler than Bullet. Rated R. If you want to see Shaft, ask your mama.
It started with Them Peoples' Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, which was one of the first black independent film productions.
He went out and made a movie that generated so much revenue as per the production dollar, or against the production dollar spent, that it literally made the industry sit up overnight and said, my God, there's an audience of black people out there that will pay to see movies about black people.
When Sweetback came out and Shaft and then Superfly, the era changed, and subsequently you had, you know, Blaxploitation film.
The studios began to hire black filmmakers. The studios began to make a genre of films that particularly catered to black urban audiences.
That's the thing about Blaxploitation, is that it brought black actors and lifestyles, you know, characters, into mainstream films, because they showed there was a crossover audience. And with Coffee, it was not just playing in black neighborhood theaters. It brought in a huge audience, you know, and it was what they called a crossover picture. So after that, black actors and characters and lifestyles became part of the mainstream of film.
Exploitation movie in general. All right, a lot of people don't understand. It's like, you know, well, who's being exploited? All right, and actually, it's just an industry term. It meant basically, you didn't have Paul Newman in your movie. You had to, so in order to get people in the theater, you had exploitable elements, whether that be naked girls or it be a motorcycle gang. And the term Blaxploitation was just, actually was coined by Variety. It was just, you know, they always came up with kind of cutie little names to describe specific subgenres, all right? They coined Blaxploitation. They were films made for the urban black market. And you know, they dealt with urban subjects.
This dude is bad, and he ain't just fly. He's super fly, yeah, super fly. When it comes to women, they come to him, but it's still not enough. He wants a big score, $1 million in cash, yeah, the big one.
This is a chance, and I want to take it now, before I have to kill somebody, before somebody ices me.
What kind of money are we talking about?
Not much.
I want his ass out working.
Critics of the genre claim that the characters simply personify racist stereotypes. They argue that the hypersexualized, violent, and law-breaking aspects of these films glamorize pimps and drug dealers, perpetuating negative stereotypes of black people. Others, however, praise Blaxploitation as a new way for people to challenge these stereotypes and for providing African Americans representation within the media. Before this movement arose, most black characters in film were either villains or reduced to monolithic stereotypes.
Ain't I clean, bad machine, super cool, super mean, feeling good for the man, super fly, here I stand.
I mean, Curtis brought so much to it, and in terms of his own life and what he had lived through himself. He brought so much.
The songs that Curtis created, you could almost duplicate them in every inner city throughout this country during that time. This was the perfect marriage of music and the visual medium.
His soundtrack tells a story, and it talks about the struggle of a dealer and trying to score and trying to get out.
Gordon Parks Jr. allowed him the opportunity to not compromise his art as a musician. Gordon Parks Jr. clearly allowed Curtis Mayfield to write the kinds of music that Curtis Mayfield had been used to writing all along, the kind of music that spoke to the condition of black America in serious and artful ways.
Mainstream film audiences actually looked at those films as like B movies, number one. And then when the black intelligentsia, people like the NAACP, and other groups started to speak out against them, then it created sort of a stigma.
This came from the black press. This came from organizations like the NAACP and CORE, who you think want to get behind you, you know, and push you and say, make more, because as you make films, they get better and they get better.
They constantly, you know, say, well, what are you doing making movies about pimps and about private eyes and hookers? Enough of this. This is detrimental, you know, to our image.
Yet people went to see them. They were very successful because we were heroes and heroines. And at no other time in cinema were we real, true heroines, and not just romantic figures.
Pam Grier and others before her set a precedent for us. They helped the people like me to do the things that we're doing now.
So it was very confusing at that time. And basically, the dollar won. The green, not black. Green has always won over any other color. Green rules.